Am I the a-hole for ignoring my sister whilst she's planning her wedding? Hi everyone. I, 28F, got married to my A32M husband in December 2023. We got engaged in September 2023 and planned a very small and intimate wedding in a short space of time as we were both due to leave the country in February. I have 4 younger sisters and 1 elder sister. I should start by saying that my younger sister, 22F, and I aren't really close anymore. We butt heads a lot. I feel like she is really stubborn, and when we do have arguments she always crosses a line and says awful things that I wouldn't tolerate if she wasn't related to me. However, she is still my sister and we do have good memories together, and I have been there for her during difficult times. I was abroad for university whilst planning my wedding and needed help from my family back home to help look at venues in person, etc. She helped connect me with a wedding planner and then disappeared. My husband then stepped in, but I would have preferred a woman's view on things. Thankfully, everything turned out great in the end. It was the lead up to it that really got to me. The first issue was the dress code. I asked for my immediate family to dress in neutral, earthy tones, no specific style of dress, just to please respect the color theme, as I wanted the photos to turn out nice and I like light hues. My sister said she could not find anything she liked, and after a lot of back and forth she agreed to wear a dark brown outfit which kind of went with the theme. My sister is a stylist and can find anything for anyone, so I really think this was just her being difficult. The second issue was her friends being invited. I had a limit of 100 people at my wedding, and I told her she could invite up to 10 friends. I wanted all my siblings to have a great time with their friends, and I was also really excited because her friends are great dancers and they wanted to all prepare dances for the wedding and entertain the guests, which makes up for a big chunk of the wedding in our culture. Everything was going fine until my sister-in-law, 19F, messaged me saying my mother-in-law doesn't feel comfortable with her hanging out with older boys even if it's for dance practice. This is a cultural thing and I completely understood. My sister, however, had a huge issue with this. I asked her to practice the dances without my sister-in-law, but her answer was, if your wedding isn't going to be fun, then I don't really want to waste my friends' time by inviting them. At this point I was already stressed, so I told her if she was going to bring negative energy to the wedding then she didn't need to invite her friends. She then disinvited them herself. Thirdly, I had invited a friend of mine and my older sister. I have known her and her family since I was a child, so I didn't even think twice about this. My older sister then messaged me saying she would not attend the wedding if this friend would be there. I asked why and she said because they had gotten into an argument. I responded saying to please see if you could sort it out, as they do tend to have a very on-again off-again friendship, and if they weren't able to sort it out then I would uninvite her. I then got a message from my younger sister. We were not talking at the time due to the dance practice thing, saying how I was a disgusting person for not being considerate of my older sister's feelings. I told her she wasn't involved in the conversation, and she then went into a rampage calling me every name under the sun, saying I was making myself a victim as usual, taunting me by laughing at me, telling me how I would sh myself if she invited any of the people I wasn't friends with anymore, and then telling me to go jumping off a roof again, in relation to a Unilever attempt that was a few years before. This is just an example of how she usually crossed the line. I was dealing with her on WhatsApp and ended up blocking her as I didn't need to engage in the conversation. She messaged me the next day from my older sister's phone saying she doesn't take back anything she said, but that she regrets saying go jump off a roof. I ignored this. Thankfully I had my husband and my in-laws during this time, as I was basically crying every day and didn't know why my sisters, especially the younger one, were suddenly being so vicious. My husband noted that it was probably because my younger sister was in a relationship before me and was planning on getting engaged, but it then fell through and they broke up. This was around 1.5 years before I got engaged, and she had already moved on with someone else. I flew back home a couple of weeks before the wedding and spent most of the time with my future in-laws. I attempted to reconcile with my sisters and it was fine, but still a little awkward. Fast forward to my wedding week. My sisters did not plan any bridal shower or even a tiny celebration to celebrate me getting married. I did mention a bridal shower, but nothing was planned, so I just gave up. I don't have any friends back home. So I was expecting my sisters to come up with something small at home. In the end, my cousins did a little celebration at home, which was basically playing some songs on the TV and dancing. It lasted around 30 minutes and I was dressed in my pajamas. My mother-in-law heard about this and then threw a last-minute bridal shower for me. She took me shopping for an outfit, etc., and handled everything. We were just supposed to be there. At the bridal shower, everyone was dancing, but my younger sister was sulking on her phone in a corner. She usually dances a lot at friends and other families' wedding, but this is the first time she had social anxiety. I completely respect having social anxiety. I just thought this was really random as she's never mentioned it before and it seemed a bit convenient. Even other members of the family who didn't know what was going on asked if something was wrong with her. On the day of my wedding, I was supposed to have her with me for my makeup and hair, and then for the bridal photo shoot, as she has worked in the industry and helped my brother and his wife when they were getting married. This was agreed on before any argument, and even after the arguments when we had sorted everything out. I am very nervous in front of the camera and I was hoping she would be with me. In the end, she is my sister and it's just normal in our culture to have your sister there with you. She was busy on the day. I found out later it was because she slept in and said she would meet me at the photo shoot location, so my sister-in-law accompanied me for hair and makeup. I was at the photo shoot with my husband and my sister never turned up. She turned up when we were arm and done, and the first thing she said when she saw the videographer making a video of me was, "That looks fucking tacky." I told her to mind her business and continued with my shoot, as thankfully I had an amazing team who really made me feel comfortable. The whole wedding she was walking around and not really involved. I was a bit upset with this as I wanted her to organize family portraits and make sure everyone is being photographed. I had to get up from my seat in the middle of photos almost 20 times to bring my parents, in-laws, immediate family, etc. for different photos. It was incredibly stressful and unfortunately I do not have a photo with all my siblings as well as my parents because of this. It is the sister of the bride's responsibility to make sure things go smoothly when it comes to things like this. She was perfectly fine during my brother's wedding and we made sure the portraits were organized and kept an eye on everything. I still had an amazing time at my wedding. My in-laws are great and everything was so much fun, and towards the end my sister did join in on the dances. Now my sister is getting married and I am so happy for her. I just have quite a bit of animosity towards her in general because of what she put me through during my wedding, and I am abroad with my husband, so we are focusing on our own life right now. If she wants me to be involved, I will always be there for her, even though part of me wants to treat her the way she treated me. A few days ago she messaged me saying she was upset with me for not creating relationships with her in-laws, who I have never met online or in person, when she went above and beyond to help me during my wedding. I said if she creates a group chat or gives me their numbers, I would love to contact them and get to know them. She hasn't replied and I can feel an argument coming on. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for not being as involved as a sister usually would be? Am I the a-hole for telling my sisters to take care of their own fucking kids? I'm 24M, the youngest of my parents' 3 kids. My older sisters are Sarah, 28F, and Liv, 26F. Sarah and Liv were BFFs growing up. Always together. Shared everything. The whole TV trope of close sisters. That was my sisters. The other part that was very TV-like was their anti-boy rhetoric and specifically, anti-brother. They never liked me being near them and they'd always say I was embarrassing to them, that I was gross, which I wasn't dirty or anything, that they wanted sisters and not brothers, that boys weren't allowed to play whatever games they were playing. It hurt my feelings as a kid and they were punished for being cruel on occasion. Not all the time. But it happened a few times and I know our parents got concerned enough to try therapy. Both individual for us all and family therapy together. It was in family therapy when my sisters loudly proclaimed they would never love me or want a brother. They said boys are disgusting and nobody wants them, and they wanted someone to come and take me away forever so they never had to see me again. My parents put a lot of focus into giving me outside focuses too, so the stuff with my sisters wouldn't destroy me. It wasn't always perfect. I did wish at a younger age that my sisters would care. But I had friends, hobbies, activities, and stuff to keep me distracted, and my parents kept working on my sister's treatment of me. Because it went beyond just not being close. Their attitude toward me did not change. I was very much in the not family camp when Sarah got married and when Sarah and then Liv started having babies. I was not included or invited to anything, even to meet their kids when they were born. I was not sent any announcements. My parents and other family got those. I'm not even their social media friend follower. They both have accounts set to permission needed to follow. I'm truly over it them by now. I know nothing will change, and honestly I don't want to, and fuck the whole don't hold kids actions against them, because they have not been kids for years. Now they have some kids that are a bit older and both sisters want to work. They tried to share a nanny and babysitter, but I guess they got tired of paying for both for different occasions. So they approached me to be a babysitter. They told me I should help take care of their kids since I'm supposed to be family or whatever. I asked if they were serious, and then I rolled my eyes at them hard. They said I had a shitty attitude. I told them they can take care of their own fucking kids, and they won't be using me after 24 years of wanting my existence to go away. They accused me of being as bad as them for responding in the way that I did. So am I the a-hole?